Brian Kelly, for the first time since being fired 2 Sundays ago, has spoken out publicly. Now, a day ago, the email that he sent to a handful of LSU administrators at the time, Scott Woodward, Verge Osbury, Julie Cromer, Austin Thomas, that email went public via Freedom of Information Records request. I believe WAFB had it first. But this is the first time that Brian Kelly has issued a statement or said something publicly since his firing. I'll go ahead and read the statement for you. And Paul, if you have it, if you could put it on the screen, that'd be great. He wrote, "Dear Tiger fans, moving to Baton Rouge 4 years ago, my family and I were clear. There would be no halfway. We would be all in for LSU and for Louisiana. This journey began with great expectations, with my own vision of how to get there. Sometimes the journey does not end the way we hope. But when I think of our time together, I will remember and appreciate what we did accomplish, all the exceptional student athletes I had the privilege to coach. A Heisman Trophy winner and more than a dozen Tigers playing on Sundays. 39 players earning SEC Academic Honor Roll honors in 2024 alone. My daughter and son earning advanced degrees from LSU, and a third who began his career working at the university. The roar of Death Valley when we beat Alabama. The losses will always hurt, but I will remember all of the wins. I don't need to tell any of you how special Saturday nights in Tiger Stadium are. I am honored to have worn the purple and gold and been a part of it. As everyone heads on their way to see the Tigers play, I wish Coach Wilson, the coaches, and our players the best this weekend. I know they will do their best for themselves and for LSU. We will be watching and cheering for you. The journey may have ended, but it's a journey that will stay with me but it's a journey that will stay with me and my family forever. Go Tigers, Brian Kelly." Very, very nicely done. Very appropriately done. I know I've said this, and maybe it's at the risk of being redundant here, but I do want to say it again. And it's interesting because I was doing an interview today on a 3-man front on Jocks FM, and they asked me sort of about Brian Kelly and what went wrong. And I know time will tell, and ultimately, we'll have plenty of opportunity in the days, weeks, months, years to litigate this, and narratives will be formed and believed a certain way. And sometimes I think when time passes, you're able to remember the good things. Like if I just think about Jerry DiNardo, for example, we can certainly look at DiNardo's tenure and how it ended. And it was bad at the end. I mean, 4-7 in 1998, then the 3-win team in 1999. He was fired after the loss to Houston. It ended badly. Most of the time when a coach is fired, they're fired because it's going badly. But I think you can also, as time passes, remove yourself and look at some of the positive things. And again, I don't anticipate here that many will do that today. But, when I think about Jerry DiNardo, he inherited an LSU program that was amid 6 straight losing seasons. And in year 1, bring back the magic. Went to a bowl game. Kevin Falk comes in. The white jerseys at home, beating Auburn 12-6. I mean, it was, there were great moments. In 1996, they went to the Peach Bowl, beat Clemson 10-7. They won 10 games that year. I mean, 97, you beat number 1 Florida. There were good moments, and it was an important moment in time in the program. And I think as time evolves, we can think back and remember those things. It's hard in the moment. I think the same is true with Kelly. And I keep getting asked, what went wrong. And I think what he says there is it probably speaks to it a bit. He says, the journey began with great expectations, with my own vision of how to get there. Sometimes the journey does not end the way we hope. And I think that is the difference. I think that is the line baked in there. And at some point, Brian Kelly will speak publicly, and there will be more on the record and all these sorts of things. But, I think Brian Kelly came here, and we lose sight of this sometimes, when he showed up in late 2021, in December of 2021, NIL was 6 months old. I mean, that was the point in time where it seems like ancient history now, but remember, it was a big deal when Gordon McKernan did the NIL deal with Kayshon Boutte to keep him from going to Alabama. I mean, that was our first real awareness of NIL. And then over the last 4 years, that has evolved so dramatically. And I think the way Brian Kelly was accustomed to building rosters and building programs evolved in that era. And I think that's a big part of the reason why and it's ultimately his responsibility. But his methodology, or as he put it, his vision of how to get there was a certain way when he arrived, and the landscape changed. And I don't think he ever found the steady water. 23, your offense was outstanding. You had the worst defense in the history of the program. In 2024, you bring in Blake Baker. You steady the defense. It's not great, but it was better. And then this year you go but you went so light on the portal and an NIL in your roster a year ago. Then this year, of course, you went all in on the roster, which was a great deviation from what he had done in the past. And I guess it was just these, think of it like a seesaw, right? It's this seesaw that keeps going up and down. What you're trying to do is find balance and get that seesaw to even out. And he just never was able to get that to even out to where they were consistent. The way he would often say it is play complementary football. They were never able to quite do that during his time in Baton Rouge. And it's unfortunate for that. So I'm going to say again the thing that I said the day Brian Kelly was fired. I know what the public perception is of Brian Kelly, and nothing I say is going to change that. I know that there are people who think he's surly, he's a jerk, people don't like him, coaches don't like him, players don't like him, all that's, I know that's the perception. People make fun of the family thing and the taking the pictures with the photos on the spinning camera. I know it. Like everybody, that is, people have made up their minds about him, and so then it becomes confirmation bias. You just look for things like that to continue stacking bricks as you're building that narrative. I can only tell you my personal experience was I enjoyed covering Brian Kelly when he was at LSU. He was honest. He was accessible. I think he was forthright. He was professional. I mean, a lot of things that other coaches in this program, not just in football, but everywhere, aren't. And I'll remind you also, somehow this keeps getting forgotten for people who say that he wasn't all in. The man donated $1 million of his own money to try to build this roster into a championship roster. So I'll push back against that notion that he wasn't all in or he wasn't committed or whatever the case may be. I just think it's more a reality that he took the job when the college football landscape looked a certain way. And during his 4 seasons in Baton Rouge, the entire landscape of college football evolved into something different, something with which he was unfamiliar, and something of which a lot of coaches who have done things a certain way for a long time have struggled to adapt to, like Dabo Swinney and Mike Gundy and Nick Saban, who's on the way out, and who's out of coaching. And I think Brian Kelly's is in that number, in that mix of coaches who are very good at what they do and have been massively successful for a long time that have struggled in this era of how to find a way to win, which is why, as we talk about LSU hiring the next coach, my opinion, tone, tenor is dramatically different than it's been the last 2 times LSU hired a coach. My opinion has always been, you are LSU. You have all the resources. There's no reason to take an unnecessary risk. People want your job. They'll line up to take it. Go hire a proven coach who knows how to win. Well, you just did that, and it didn't work. So find a coach now who knows how to win in this culture of college football. And that could be someone like John Sumrall. It might be Frank Wilson. Let's see what the next month looks like. It could be Kelvin Shepard or Joe Brady. Or maybe it's someone like Dan Mullen, who was a great X and O coach, a brilliant offensive mind, great game caller as well, who hated recruiting. Well, guess what? Recruiting's done differently now. It's done with a checkbook. So that could work in this era. In any event, a nice statement by Brian Kelly. Time will pass, and we'll remember We'll remember the Heisman Trophy. We'll remember the 2022 win over Alabama in overtime. We'll remember Ole Miss a season ago. We'll remember good things. Of course, the era will be marred with unfortunate losses as well and missed opportunities. But Brian Kelly with a statement there to LSU fans, his first public comments since being fired 2 Sundays ago.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.